Jeepers, I give up. We're having a bit of challenge with the lead-in header there. Anyway, and also the phone always rings when you least expect it, and our hotline just went off, and there's a few things happening already in the background on another boat. But anyway, for now, just reviewing everything from yesterday. We were actually just we wrote a press release to send out on follow-up for the recovery of Stefan into Madeira. And we spoke with the captain of Triana, and there were some photos and some epic videos coming along. We finished the press release last night, and we made a decision to hold until we got those videos and photos. Sadly or unfortunately, for whatever reason, we haven't got those that file yet off the boat. He does have a Starlink on board, and we're now about to send that final press release update out with some boring standard photos, which is fine. The good news is Stefan is in hospital, all okay. He's using his phone, sending messages, and the word is apparently he's going to be fine. So that's all good news for sure. And thanks again to all of the various efforts from the Rescue Coordination Centres. We still haven't had a full briefing on exactly who was providing which aircraft and so on. Jean thought that he saw a French logo on the helicopter, and we thought the helicopter was Portuguese and the fixed wing was from France and so on. So I'm not sure. We can't be too definitive on that, but certainly Grisnez are always very supportive, and I believe they might have been assisting the Portuguese. I'm not sure. Morocco was on standby as well. It was actually in their zone, which I mentioned last night. So all a good outcome. And now we're back into racing. The funny part is with the tweets, that for us as the organisers of the race, I'm a great believer of the tweets. I really think they're a great way of getting a quick overview and a feel for what's going on. And just a reminder that all of the entrants have an opportunity to send up to 4 tweets a day. And doing a tweet, it might sound pretty simple. You just get your phone out and boom, boom, boom on the sat phone and send the message to us. And then we put it up on Twitter, and then Jane does a summary every now and then of all the tweets on Facebook, which you see. And in that sense, you quickly go through and you get these short grabs for all the entrants. And to me, it's just fantastic. The irony is that none of the entrants, or very few of the entrants, are using that to their advantage to cater for their sponsors and bits and pieces, because a tweet every 6 hours is really cool. Some of the boats just do one a day and say, we're okay. And yet some of those boats are complaining they don't get enough opportunity to send media out. So, from an England, it's like, what the hell? What's going on? And that the fleet is all very comfortable, and all they talk about is food and explorers, sort of smoked salmon and cream cheese with freshly baked bloody banana bread. And I'm thinking, huh? So all is fun. And generally the conditions now, as you see, are pretty good. Marco I really respect Marco for lots of reasons on Translated, lots of reasons. Marco and both Isabel. He got crook again the other day, seasick, but he's up there, carrying on, and they're performing really well. I'm quite surprised at Translated's performance, and very impressive. There's lots of good stories. We'll get onto that. What was another one? There was a couple other things. White Shadow, super cool. They're pushing out the stories there, and that's really quite fun. Anyway, Maiden's making the tricky decision to go through the slot there, and there may be some other news coming out about that shortly. And all is good. So straight to the tracker, and we'll get back on track, and no pun intended, and we'll give you a rundown on what's happening. Usually I get to spend a bit of time on this, but we had a few things going on in the office this morning, and just as I was about to get on, the hotline rang, so now everyone in the other office is going crazy. So where are we here? I'm just going to push this down. Okay. And all looking pretty good. So we'll start with the tail end of the fleet, and I'll get back to today's weather. So this is the real-time weather. The good news is for Godspeed that they're making good time to Lisbon. Now, you probably heard that they broke their boom, or not broken it, but they've effectively got a 6-inch crack in the middle of the boom, possibly around where the vang was or whatever, I'm not sure. And that's enough to make them think it's senseless to try and continue, because it'll obviously then finally break. They're probably not geared up with a sleeve. Very few people are for a broken boom. So the best thing to do is get in quick, have everything waiting, and then make the repair. Now, we love these guys, but they're still racing, and girl, still racing under the notice of race rules. And they told us that they would breach the communication rules. They wanted to use their sat phone to try and organise a repair, and that's happening. So that as soon as they get in, they've got someone there ready to do something and get out again as quick as possible. So that's one breach of the notice of race. The next one is they'll be taking on support to continue them in the race, and that's actually not necessarily allowed without penalty, that's for sure. So I won't go into the potential ramifications of that. The breach of the communication rules could be about an 18-hour time penalty for the first breach. And then the issue of taking on support, we consider that at the time. So once the facts are known and they're back on underway, we'll get together and we'll make a determination on where they stand within the rest of the fleet. So let's just wish them well for now. And we're looking forward to seeing them back on track and getting to Cape Town in time. If you've been, let's just have a look at the leaderboard before we go much further. It's kind of interesting to watch what's going on. Line honours is pretty straightforward. It's stacked from top to bottom. Penjuic's now finally broken away. They got the kind of weather she's after, and she's got legs. I mean, he has got legs for sure. So that's obvious, and then it goes down the line. And the interesting one here is to look at the potential ETA. You know the numbers that are here on the leaderboard. Oh, I got to remember this now. I can't move it. Okay, so with the format, you're not seeing the boats down here. Anyway, I will just go through the ETAs into Cape Town and explain something. So, estimated date of arrival for maiden, for instance, will be the estimated finish time, rather. Hang on, I'll go from the top. Estimated finish time for Penjuic is 17th of October, translated 19th of October, maiden 19th of October, Spirit of Helsinki 20th, 24th for the Spirit Equip. And if we go down the line, they're all speeding up a bit. So Explorer's due in on the 1st of November, Galliana 2nd of November, White Shadow 5th, and Evrika the 6th. What's happening is, and what you'll hopefully see as we go forward now, is the average speeds will slowly increase on the boats, and those arrival times will become a little bit more relevant to the idea of restarting the next leg of the race on November the 5th. So don't despair at the moment. We're pretty confident that most of the boats will be finished in time to have a bit of a break, service everything, and get going. Okay. It's an interesting problem now with the leaderboard. I need to double check that you can actually see it on the screen when I'm talking. So, okay. So you can see real-time weather now. I'm talking about Sterna. She's only doing 3.4 knots because you can see there's not much wind there. There's a bit of a trough going through there between the various systems.